Christmas is such a busy time of year. It's so good to get ahead where you can. A traditional Christmas pudding is one of the best things to tick off your list early. Here's how to make a Christmas pudding from scratch. First, put your mixed fruit in a large bowl and add slivered almonds and some orange rind. For the soaking liquid, I'm going to use a mixture of orange juice and orange-flavoured liqueur. If you don't want to use alcohol, just double the amount of orange juice. I'm just going to place them in the small saucepan. Bring it to a simmer over a low heat and then just pour it over the fruit mixture. Give it a good toss. Then you just want to cover it and pop it in the fridge overnight. You can even do this 1 to 2 weeks ahead so that the flavours get even richer. Use an electric mixer to beat softened butter, brown sugar and some mixed spice. And you want to beat it until it's pale and creamy. And then add the eggs one at a time. Make sure you beat it well between each addition. Now what we need to do is add the creamed butter mixture to the plumped fruit and give that a good stir. And then stir in some breadcrumbs and some flour. And we add breadcrumbs to the pudding because it keeps it nice and light and not too dense. Here's how to prepare the pudding basin. Grease the basin with some cooking oil spray, and then you just want to get a disc of baking paper and place it in the bottom of the pan. And you don't need to line the sides of the pan with paper, just add a little bit of flour and give it a light dust. And then all we need to do is spoon the pudding mixture into the basin. And just press it down to get rid of any air bubbles. The pudding rises as it cooks, so here's what you need to do. Cut a 30cm piece of baking paper and do the same with foil. And what we need to do is we need to make a 3cm pleat in the centre of the foil and the paper. And this is going to expand as the pudding cooks. And just pop that over the top of the pudding. Then we're going to get some string and it's just going to secure the lid of the pudding. So the foil and the paper acts as the lid. The paper stops the pudding from sticking while the foil keeps the steam in and the water out. And then with the string, just double it over a couple of times so it's nice and tight. And then just scrunch the paper and the foil up tightly around the rim of the pudding. And this will stop any water from entering the pudding. To cook the pudding, take a large saucepan and you want to put in an upturned ramekin or saucer into the base. Stand the pudding on top and then put in enough boiling water to come about halfway up the pudding basin. Turn the heat on to medium and bring the water back to a simmer. Then pop on a tight-fitting lid. This pudding needs about 6 hours to cook, so keep checking the water level and topping it up with more boiling water so it stays about halfway up the sides of the basin. To test the pudding is cooked, insert a skewer into the centre and it should come out clean. If it doesn't, just pop the lid on and cook it for another 10 minutes before testing again. Once it's cooked all the way through, carefully remove it from the saucepan and lift it onto a wire rack. And just let it cool for 10 minutes. Candied orange slices give this pudding a show-stopping finish. Here's how to make them. Start by greasing and lining a baking tray. Then you want to slice one orange into thin slices and then just zest another orange. For the syrup, I'm using the same amount of sugar to water and you just place them in a medium saucepan. Put the saucepan over a low heat and stir for a few minutes until the sugar's dissolved. Then add the orange slices. Cook for 5 to 8 minutes, turning them occasionally. You'll see the rind will start to soften and become translucent. When they're ready, carefully lift them out and place them on the lined tray. Now I'm going to add the zest to the sugar, and that just needs about 1 minute to cook, just to soften. And then just pop them on the tray with the orange slices and set it aside to cool. I'm going to show you how to make some orange butter to serve with the pudding as a twist on the traditional brandy butter. Use an electric mixer to beat the softened butter and brown sugar. You want to beat it until it's pale and creamy. And just scrape down the sides of the bowl as you go. Add in some orange-flavoured liqueur or orange juice if you don't want to use alcohol, some orange zest and a little mixed spice. and beat that until it's well combined. When your pudding has cooled slightly, you can turn it out onto a serving plate. If you're making your pudding ahead, cool it completely and then wrap it in baking paper and plastic wrap or foil. And you can keep it in the fridge for up to 3 months. Decorate the pudding with some candied orange and serve with the orange butter. Drizzle over a little bit of the reserve syrup. This spectacular pudding makes the perfect addition to a traditional Christmas menu. For the full recipe, see the description below. For more Christmas entertaining ideas, head to our playlist here.